My name is David Weinreich, and I'm attending the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. I'm pursuing a PhD in urban and regional planning. When I was 19, my life changed a little bit. I came down with epilepsy. I haven't been able to drive ever since then. I saw the importance of public transportation, not just for myself, but for other people that I would meet on the bus who were dependent on public transportation to get around. So I could see a lot of the reasons why they were dependent on public transportation and how inadequate the service was. I noticed as a transit rider, I noticed that a lot of times there were gaps in the system. When I would try to go from Orange County to LA, for instance, and there just wasn't a lot of transit between those two areas. There still isn't. And if you probe a little bit, and I did work at the state legislature for a while, and so I knew a lot of the reasons behind these things, and it is oftentimes because there just isn't a funding source that there's not a level of government to fund regional transit. It just doesn't exist in the U.S. So local governments fund their own transportation, and then they just don't coordinate. And then they leave it the way it is, and inertia takes hold, and that's the inadequate transportation that we end up with. And if all the local governments are planning their own transportation because the federal government doesn't want to fund it as much as it used to, then we're going to have a lot worse transportation. We're going to have really poorly coordinated transportation from city to city, county to county. It took me a while to figure that out. But when I saw the implications of all that, that's when I thought, well, I really want to take that research to the regional scale. That hasn't been done yet, and that's really important. Research and being involved in your community don't have to be mutually exclusive, because there can be a lot of synergy between the two. I don't have to pretend to the people in academia that I'm not doing it or something. They encourage me to do it because I find out the topics for my future research from being involved in things like that. I find out what the problems are, and I keep finding them out, and that's how I compose my research questions for the next time around. So that's how you find out all the nitty-gritty details, and you really know how to ask the right questions.